Hello and welcome back to National Busways West Scotland, here at the Clydebank garage in Glasgow, where we're looking at the two oldest darts in the Drumchapel darts fleet. And it's kind of funny how last episode we did a new garage. And I did a map expansion off camera that means I now want another new garage in Hamilton. The goal of the map expansion was to enable us to serve Hamilton bus station, which is down here, with the 210. Just extend the 210, divert the 210 from here and come down the main road into Hamilton bus station. But then I thought, we've unlocked all this map, and one bus route between Hamilton and East Kilbride isn't going to cut it in the long term, especially given that it uses single-deckers. So, new garage is needed in Hamilton, and I'm going to use this building. I don't know what it is, but it's on an industrial estate, which means it's probably cheap. So, let's build another new garage. How many have we got right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 garages. This is going to be garage 7 of the series, which means we are officially halfway through in terms of garages. Oh no, remember, build it cheap and build it small to start with. Always build it cheap and small to start with. Then do that. And this is going to be HM, not GM. HM for Hamilton. And isn't this a familiar sight? Normally this site is matched with funky music. Not this time. Right, where is Peacock Cross? There it is. So I want to delete Hamilton Armada Street, the waypoint, and both instances of Montrose Crescent. And then from here, we're going to continue down. Let's stop there, there, and in the bus station. Actually, I'm going to go over to Polmedy, because I've discovered a feature, or I've discovered how to use a feature that I hoped was in the game for a very long time. Are there any darts in? There are no darts in. It's unfortunate, because I've been testing it out on the darts, on the 380 specifically, because the darts have the best formatted displays. So I'll check where our darts are. Where are they? You get back at 23:20. Have I just missed all the evening stuff go? I may have just missed all the evening stuff go. No. DS14 gets back soon, and I get to show off the feature. Which, you know what? I'll just show it on the thing, and then, we can have a look at it on a dart. But here's the 380. Why is that waiting? Oh, probably because it's starting a shift. Yeah, this is the one that's coming off. Right? No. But this stop, you see, it's called Pollock Moss Park Station, but now the Moss Park Station is really small and all in uppercase. And the same thing down at the other end of the route, in Thornleybank. Thornleybank, and then Main Street's really small and all in uppercase. So, this game is based in Unity, and Unity has a lot of rich text formatting abilities. So what I've done is I've put some of those rich text formatting codes into the stop name to sort of to affect how it shows up on the destination blind. And if I can just speed things along, I know when I speed the game up the frame rate tanks, but if I can speed things along so that the other dart comes home, I can show you what that looks like on the display. 1820, we're expecting dart anytime soon. There's one. Right, here's a dart. Here's a dart. DS14 V466 RGEs from quite early on in the series. And it's allocated to the 380, and now that the 51A is over at sea, it is the only route that the dart can operate. Problematic, this bus is always going to go out late. But it's now gone to drive shift, which means it should be going out momentarily. Whoa, what's that? I punched the microphone, sorry if you heard that. What are you doing? Oh, you've just come home. Yeah, all the darts come home at the same time. Here is where I was experimenting with the small caps, and everything broke because I hit the character limit. And yeah, there's a character limit if you're setting the display up here, but there isn't a character limit on stop names, which is why you can have absurdly long stop names. However, I would appreciate it if this bus didn't go out stupid late. There we go. This is what I've wanted these displays, where it says where it's going and then somewhere more specific, to look like the entire time. This is pretty much exactly spot on. The sort of Pollock and then Moss Park Station, small in uppercase. So, in London, we call the small uppercase part of the destination on the blind the clarifier. So it's like, if it's going somewhere that's quite large, like if you've got a bus that's going to Acton, for example, but it's terminating sort of on the high street, then you would put high street in small uppercase. So the concept is going to be just the same as the 210, where it runs between East Kilbride and Hamilton every 10 minutes, and then every half hour it extends to somewhere locally. In the 210's case, that is Hare Miles Hospital, and in the 310's case, it will be Motherwell. So, let's get the new 310. Copy our hex code. New route. Own bus route. Man. This is going to be the 310. Motherwell to East Kilbride. So, I now need to find, I've said so a lot, I now need to find where buses can turn around in Motherwell, because we're not going to go down an estate. We're going to sort of turn back somewhere relatively central. And I have absolutely no idea. Does Motherwell have a bus station? Maybe I should have looked this up, but I feel like it would have been fairly obvious if there was one. I don't think there is. I don't think there is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it here. And then it's going to go round and then down. So post me, if you don't mind. And there is the 310, running from Motherwell station down to Hamilton, through Hamilton sort of by the back way, up onto the expressway, and then down sort of very directly into East Kilbride, whereas the 210 is a little bit more local. I missed a few stops coming out of Hamilton, and I have no idea how. So I'm going to add those. I missed... Oh, I just missed School Street, by the look of things, which is after Morris Street. Morris Street, School Street. Very nice. I think that's the only one I missed. It appears so. So that's the 310. Motherwell, Hamilton, East Kilbride. It's going to run every 10 minutes between Hamilton and East Kilbride, with every third bus extending up to Motherwell. So let's get the timetable done, and also, during that jump cut, I'm going to get the repaint finished. Because it's not quite done yet. It's not branded or anything, it's just not done yet. Because I was so excited to start recording that I completely forgot about it. Or something along those lines, you know? So it's going to run every 10 minutes. So let's have a look at demand and vehicle requirement. It's going to be quite a lot. Fully anticipate that it's going to be a lot. And because it's less direct, I have no problem at all running it every 15 with every second bus going to Motherwell. But it would be nice to have it and the 210 running at the same frequency. Because that way it would be on average a bus every 5 minutes between East Kilbride and Hamilton, which I think is more than real life. But every 15 minutes seems to be fine. So I'll do that. So it'll be the 310M to Motherwell and the 310A as the shorts. So I'll get those done. And the timetable for the 310 is done. So it runs every half hour between Motherwell and Hamilton, where the main 310A joins in and doubles the frequency up to every 15 minutes. And at East Kilbride they have 9 minutes to turn back around, and they turn back onto the other variant of the route. So a 310 from Motherwell will turn back onto a 310 to Hamilton. On Sundays, the frequency remains the same, but there are no services to Motherwell. All services are Hamilton shorts. And they also have 9 minutes to turn back, and at Hamilton bus station they have about 10. And this route will run with a new vehicle type for the series out of HM, which is why I had to do that jump cut, which actually included my system hitting its RAM limit and having to be restarted, because the system literally had no memory left to understand what to do with itself, which I think is just a brilliant outcome. So, let's hire some drivers first. Let's do the boring stuff. Sort by friendliness. We want more than that. We want significantly more than that. Unlike where C has started out relatively minor, Hamilton is going to be pretty important from day one. And this is the one we want. We are going with the B7TL ALX, but the 9.9 meter version, which I believe was only ever sold to London. So, it's new vehicle group time. It is time for the VSA type. VSA means Volvo Short Alexander. So the default template has dual door, and it has this centre staircase that was quite common in London for quite a while. Ended quite recently. Anyway, I say quite recently, I mean ALX 400's had it. I think the ALX 400 was the last bus type to use the centre stairs. Anyway, VSA type. Unfortunately, I can't move the license plate. Imagine that it's down there. There's legals. They're very low res. Oh yeah, I know why they're low res. It's because I accidentally did this on a 2048 template rather than a 4096 template. It will be on a 4K template by next episode. I'm not bothered about, changing it over. But there's the garage and type codes on the roof. Hamilton, VSA. And I think I've only bought one, so let's buy 4. Well, not 4, 10. I'm gonna buy 10 for the first batch. So the thing with Hamilton, the rule with Hamilton, is anything above 11 meters is the exception. So these would be a like a Renown or a Eclipse Metro. But of course they aren't, because those are like 12 meters long. We're gonna say, Hamilton has a size limit. It can't handle, for whatever reason, buses longer than 11 meters. Destination display. Let's have this one say Hamilton, because we're getting out of there now, out of Glasgow now, even though the buses are Glasgow branded. Fleet number, this is VSA. Probably isn't going to be VSA 1. Yeah, probably isn't going to be VSA 1, but the B7TL's only been in production since 1999. And this isn't going to be super popular, so maybe this is VSA 25, like maybe this is the second batch of them. And finally, here is SA51HTZ, ooh, put a space, HTZ, or VSA 36. Isn't that lovely? So, these, obviously in lieu of something like an Eclipse Metro or a Renown, but they actually have more capacity than that. So, I think that's a W for Hamilton. These in the VSA type, so let's let's look at the side blind. Obviously it's like a, yeah, it's Johnston-ish, so it's gonna look like Johnston. Let's go over to the 310, and we'll activate it first. So obviously National Busways, we get very high spec, at least technically, so all of our buses have fog lights. I missed the blinds. Oh well, it's gone out now, so let's have a look, see where it's going. It's going to be on the 2100 from East Kilbride, and it's going cross-country on the little roads. Interesting. I mean, it's a small bus, relatively speaking, it can do that. So, it has 15 minutes before it has to leave East Kilbride. Pump up the speed just a little bit more. East Kilbride is really busy. East Kilbride is so busy. But it's coming up to departure time now, so put it down to 1x. And let's see what it can do. We are the only route up this road, so that's something we have over the 210, because it's a faster road. Speaking of the 210, there's one there. Oh, they're running like a minute apart. Isn't that wonderful? I did not intend for that. But it's fine, because we'll take longer to get into Hamilton Centre. Because we take slower roads. See, that goes fast down the main road. We go down... It's also, relatively speaking, a main road, but it's not as direct. The purpose of this route is to serve Hamilton as much as it is link Hamilton and East Kilbride. It's very much the secondary connection. Hence why it's in the 300 series with all the Hamilton locals, or where all the Hamilton locals will be, and not in the 200 series with all the East Kilbride services. That said, we're doing decently, given that it's launch night, and emphasis on night. I think small buses on this route, or small double-deckers, was a good decision. I also want to get a local service in today, but I have not much of an idea as to where it should go. Obviously Hamilton bus station is there, but the question is sort of where in this area does it go? Does it go up to Blantyre? Like, this looks like some kind of council estate around here, so maybe it could go to this estate in Blantyre. But I've not fully worked out which single-deckers I'll use out of Hamilton because of the 11 metre rule. I want something with enough flexibility below 11 metres. But at the same time I kind of want to use the pointer dart, but that's only available in 2 lengths and one of them is over 11 metres. Maybe I use mini pointers and then 10.7 metre ALX 200s? I would be open to that. I mean, I could also use Optes Solos were around by this point. So there's that. It's like, we're in 2001, there's a fair bit, available to us. The Hamilton garage, I will say specifically, the Volvo types are for longer routes. So, because this route has a lot of sort of dual carriageway running between Motherwell and Hamilton and the East Kilbride Expressway, it gets Volvos. Everything else will be Dennis / Transbus / that sort of thing. I mean, I could do like a sort of crosstown in Hamilton from this estate in Blantyre down the main road where the sort of 210 goes into the bus station, back out and down to Larkhall. Interesting, there's no bus stops where I'm actually gonna run this service. That's fun. What is this estate down here? Because this is where the... Oh, High Blantyre, but it's all cul-de-sacs. That's beautiful. It's not. Yeah. I can make my own bus stops. And we're going to serve Glenfruin Road, which is in the Wheatlands area of Blantyre. So, I'm going to put a bus stop there, and I will call it Wheatlands. And where am I? Glenfruin Road. Corner Columba Path. And post me, if you don't mind. I would appreciate a little time lapse. So, I finished the time lapse on a focus of one stop, or on a focusing in on one stop, so that I can show you how you get the small caps, which is very useful for destinations and whatnot. So I'm just going to find where I am on maps. So this is called Wheatlands, this sort of part of Blantyre. So I'm going to name this stop Blantyre, then I'm going to \n to make a new line, press shift and then comma to get that sort of symbol, type size equals 75% and close it by pressing shift and full stop, and it's gotten rid of it. Then I'm going to open it again by pressing shift and comma and type small caps, all one word, all lowercase, and I'm going to close it again and it disappears. Then I type in lowercase on my keyboard, so caps lock is switched off, Wheatlands, and it's in small capital letters. Then you open it again by pressing shift and comma, you do a // then you type small caps in one word, and then you do the same thing again and you type size equals 100%. And the reason why you want to undo everything you did after that is because all text is text in Unity. So if you just opened everything for the stop name and didn't close it again afterwards, if that stop name was being shown in a bunch of other text, everything else would have the small size and small caps applied to it, which would make everything look hideous. So you want to undo everything you do when you make a stop name like that. But this is the 301. I think I think it suits its low number quite well. From Blantyre, straight down into Hamilton, and then straight out again to Larkhall, where it just does a little 3 or 4 stop circuit, and back again. And there is the timetable for the 301 between Blantyre and Larkhall via Hamilton. So it has a pretty chunky stand at Hamilton bus station. I believe it's 7 minutes one way, 7 minutes southbound, and what is it northbound? 7 minutes northbound, 6 minutes southbound. Oh, other way round. And runs every half hour, and let's see how many vehicles it needs. 510, that was the 605, gets to 654 to do the 710, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so let's buy 8. Well, let's buy 6, but then, we can expand the batch. So, Hamilton, bus fleet, no, marketplace. Can I even afford 6? So we're going to go with the Trident, which is slightly smaller, but therefore also slightly cheaper. But also, because it's not a Volvo, it's a TSA type. It's the same as VSA, but exchange Volvo for Trident, that's all that means. Oh look, it's basically the same as the VTA type, but it's the TSA type. There we go. So these are going to be sort of first bought for Hamilton. So this is going to be TSA 1. Caps, please. HM. Hamilton. And let's go with... Let's have this one be the SA... Not SA, let's have this one be the SF... be an SF batch. SF51... LKR. Right, so I've come back. We have the missing allocation in the morning being covered by a DA from Polmedy. But it is obviously the next day, so the extension of the 210 into Hamilton has taken effect. And of course we have service on the 301 and 310. So there's a 210, and there's another 210. There's a lot of 210s. It's almost like it runs every 10 minutes or something. And the 310 isn't super busy, but it's not rush hour yet. So let's just pop over here and see how things do, just on the expressway. Looks like the 310's not super busy. Like, if Hamilton was a normal garage, I would have run the 310 with Renowns as well, probably. Or B7s. Like, Eclipse Metros. Because it's not as busy as the 210, but that might be because it's a newer route and it's still bedding in. What is busy is the 301, which is very, very good to see. How's it doing at this end? Ooh, it's very busy at this end. I'm liking this. Oh, of course, it's only half hourly. There aren't many buses on it. But the 310 is proving a vital link, at least between Motherwell and Hamilton. And within Hamilton, we seem to be doing alright with the numbers on the 310. And I suppose, because the 301 exists, the connectivity between them is boosting numbers on the 310. Not 310, 210. Because the 210 shares this whole section with the 301. I just crank it. Let's follow one of our TSAs. Because I set the game to have no type preference for the 301. Well, I don't have enough TSAs to run it. But I guess because the 310 had a type preference, it took precedent. Because only the TSAs got allocated to 310s, or 301s even. And only the VSAs got allocated to 310s. This is already confusing. It wasn't meant to be confusing. I would like to see how these look in the garage, but they've got the Johnston font rather than like an LED. Which, like, while I prefer paper blinds in real life, I don't know, I kind of find something goofy about LEDs in this game. It's like, it's almost like, you know, it's like I'm used to LEDs in this game, but I'm used to paper blinds in real life. That sort of thing. But the 301 is looking fairly busy. It's running a minute late for some reason. I hope that's not, you know, indicative of anything. Because that wouldn't be optimal if our buses are constantly running late. Especially given that they only have a 2-minute turn back in Larkhall. Well, 2-3 minutes. Oh no, we've made a minute back. And I think we've got another time. We do have another timing point yet. At Field Road. And somehow that made us more late. Love that. But it's fine. We seem to be doing okay. We seem to be doing just fine. What I find kind of odd is that Larkhall Station has no bus stop. Which, like, I mean, Scotland is doing significantly better than England in terms of, like, joining up their transport networks into something a little bit more unified. England's doing it well in places. London, obviously. Manchester's getting there. The West Midlands is surprisingly good. But Scotland sort of on a much larger than just a city scale, like much larger, on a larger than urban scale, Scotland seems to be doing better than England at that. But there's no bus stop that's like, oh yeah, this is the bus stop you use for Larkhall Station. There's no obvious choice, which just feels a little wrong. There is there was a 310 that was busier than the 210 coming out of the bus station. And it seems... No, they're doing kind of similar numbers by looks. This 210 has 33 on board, that 310 has 20 on board. Where's the 210, 310 behind? I don't know if it's left East Kilbride yet. Where's the 210? Not 210, 310. Again, this is not confusing at all. I saw 310. That's got 9 on board leaving the bus station. That's hardly good. But these buses do leave the 310 room to grow. And I suspect that once connectivity in Hamilton and Motherwell improves, then the 310 will have significantly higher demand. That said, it is doing quite well between Hamilton and Motherwell. So who knows? Let's have a look at this northern section of the 301. Ah, there's one. Where does it go? 810. It's got quite a few on board already. Just coming out of, I forgot the name of it. Blantyre. We'll just call it Blantyre. But, yeah, these have quite a few on board already. Double-deckers were a very good choice for this route. I was sort of doubting whether double-deckers would be a good choice for a town service, but I think this town service is good enough that it sort of, definitely justifies having a double-decker on it than a full-size single. Because with 66 on board, a full-size single would be very unpleasant. But 66 on board in a double-decker is like there's a few people standing downstairs. And it looks like the 310s, not 310s, 301s pull into Hamilton bus station and overlap for a significant amount of time. Ooh, that 310's very busy. Come on, there we are, 310, what are you doing? This is one of the 310s to Motherwell, 310M, I refer to them as. Sort of the internal sort of thing, 310M. And we got 78 on board of 87. Now that's when these things would become unpleasant. $68. Yeah, that's not the most pleasant. But what it is very profitable. That's if those things get decent fuel mileage, which I hope they do. I would expect that they do. But I'm going to head over to Polmedy and chuck the first DA I can find on it. Oh look, there's another. I'll chuck the first DA I can find on it. Oh, I need to click it again. Then it'll go. Sometimes you have to click it twice. I do want to see the destinations, because both Blantyre and Larkhall have the clarifier on it, which is what we call those things. I don't know if I mentioned that, like that's what they're called, but if you see a destination that looks like that with the sort of general area where the bus is going normally set, and then something more specific in in small caps. In London, we call that a clarifier. See, I was contemplating ignoring the new ALX model and just continuing using this old one, but the new ALX model is so much better. It's like, I'm tempted to start replacing or like selling some of the earlier DAs and sort of transitioning some routes away from the DA type to the TA type, which I think is where Polmedy are going to go. Although I'm not sure on that. So I want lots of TAs because the Trident was very, very popular. But at the same time, Polmedy has lots of Volvos. Like, it's single-decker fleet. If we zoom out, put the game on pause so that the frame rate doesn't suck. The single-decker fleet, or in terms of the full-size single-decker fleet here, is entirely Volvo. And the newer double-deckers here, the triaxles, they're also Volvo. The only Dennis buses here are these small batch of Darts. And then there's these Marshalls, which are very much the outliers. So I've got no idea. These are also outliers because they're DAFs, but there are 78 of them. So maybe I go with the B7 and just have lots of Volvo. It's all ALX 400s at the end of the day, it's just what makes more sense. And I think the Volvo makes more sense, so I'm going to do Volvos here. And the, because everything at sea, what's that doing? Because everything at sea is a Dart right now, is Dennis. Those will get Tridents. But Hamilton will be unique in having short deckers. Everywhere else will get full-size deckers. Hamilton is the only one with that length restriction. However, that's going to be thumbnail, I think. Trying to work out how to not get it chopped off by the thing, by my big square thing. Maybe there. There. That's good. Bring the UI back. We have money now, but ultimately everything's running, so I think that's a good place to end it. We've got a network, we've got the start, the foundations, that's the word I'm looking for, of a bus network in Hamilton, with its sort of main trunk through corridor thing between Blantyre and Larkhall. So on that note, I think I will see you all next week. Bye bye.